Greetings and welcome to this week's video project. I'm Melusi Ndhlalambi, your host, and we have a MelVee testimony that we want to share. But as we share this testimony, it's because we have a mother, a sister, an aunt, a writer, and an author who's written a book, Best Before. So we want to profile this book because it really talks about a guide to marriage. How do you get into marriage? How do you prepare, and how do you handle the experience of marriage? Because I've learned in life that if there's one thing that can test your pedigree and push you to the limits, it is marriage. And it is one thing that can determine whether you get saved or you get lost. And so to help me discuss this week's program, I've got Maureen Ngwenya, the author of this book, Best Before. Greetings and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Finally, I get to meet with you and to sit down and we talk.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Now, I was quite humbled to see you launching this book on that day. I watched it.
Okay.
V and I were watching it and we were seeing you there. The girls were there, the pastors were there. But before we talk about the launch of this beautiful masterpiece, I'm sure our viewers would want to know, who's Maureen Ngwenya? So tell us about yourself.
Okay. There's a lot to tell about me.
I can imagine.
I was born in the town of Gweru.
Oh, you're a Midlander.
Yes, I'm a Gwerurian.
All right.
Gwelo then.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So I was born over 50 years ago. I'm 50 plus.
Wow.
Yes, just about 50.
All right.
Just to keep it a mystery.
So we have half a century to talk about right now, right there. And it's contained, some of it, in that book.
Yeah, some of it.
So tell us about your early years growing up and college until now.
Yes. I grew up in Gweru, Mkoba. I did my primary, secondary there.
All right.
And then I took a gap year, went into, not gap years, I think.
Yeah.
Went into temporary teaching then. It was very fashionable.
Oh, you also held the chalk.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And I would always joke and say I was a teacher minus qualification because I taught for like 4 years. Then marriage came in.
All right.
Yes, there are so many stories about my love life.
Yes.
Yes, but exciting ones.
Yes.
And then I met my husband, got married, I then went to college.
All right.
Yes, I went to college, did some secretarial course. I left that, then started business leadership.
I see.
Went into entrepreneurial development.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And then I started doing farming together with my husband. We tried a lot of businesses.
All right.
We did some precast walls, stationery, computer college. We did quite a lot of things. We ventured into so many things.
Yeah.
And then later on, we went into farming.
All right.
So at the time of my husband's death, that's 6 years ago, he left me with a bit of farming interest.
So you would get into the farm.
I went into it.
See the tractors.
I went into it not because I loved farming, but because I loved the person who loved farming.
You just wanted to see him doing his thing.
The passion there was borrowed.
Wow.
And I went into farming, chicken farming, cattle farming, crop farming. Yes, and I think I did much better than...
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So you've had a full, half a century is a long time to talk about.
It is.
But tell us about some of your most exciting experiences, maybe before marriage. What was the most exciting thing?
Hey, there are so many. But I think what I enjoyed most during my years growing up was youth camps. Yes, I loved youth camps so much. And
in the bushes.
Yeah, ours were real youth camps because we would build camp using grass and whatever.
Sticks and clothes and all of that.
And would have inspections for cleanliness, get awards.
Wow.
So it was very exciting. Yeah, that's what I remember. And even my teaching experience, those 4 years were quite exciting because I moved in, I don't know how many Adventist schools that I taught in that time. Yes, and it was an exciting period. That's why I would forget I was supposed to go
Yeah.
and get an education, a qualification.
You just enjoyed
I
the
enjoyed
joke.
the money. I enjoyed because I had no responsibilities. So
Wow.
everything that I got paid would go
It
to
was
clothes.
yours.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
And then tell us about one of your most difficult experiences in your youth years or growing up years that you think really defined who you are. It could be maybe where you come from, your family, or an experience you went through as a young person.
My most difficult years were when, I think it was the time when my father was retrenched.
Okay.
Yes, we were in high school. And with promising results, our father left, he was retrenched.
Yes.
Left Gweru, went to stay home in the rural areas. And then he had to find, I don't know what you call it, is it surrogate homes or?
Okay.
Yes, he then asked the
Or
relatives.
foster homes where you could stay in.
Yeah, so the family was split. My siblings, other of my siblings went to stay with other relatives, and it was difficult because we could not process what was happening, and some of the relatives that we stayed with did not have the same faith. They were nice, but it was, as a child processing it, it was
too much.
Yeah, it was too much. It traumatized us in a very big way. We had younger siblings who were left at our original home, and every weekend we had to visit them. And what we saw, we didn't quite like it. It really traumatized us. Yeah.
So to young people out there, you might think what you're going through is new to you. No one went through a tough experience, but here you are. More than 40, 50 years ago, someone went through a similar experience you're going through today, and obviously pick up the phone and call an elder person and find out how you can best deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
But let's transition and come to, you've talked about you being a mother, a sister, an aunt and all of that, but you haven't talked about Maureen being this jolly face as an author. Now, you got married 6 years ago, you lost your husband, but you still remained in your matrimonial home with your daughters. Four of them. I see you acknowledge them here. I've spoken to 2 of them, beautiful testimonies. But what made you, having gone through what you've gone through, what inspired you to share this book?
I think it was a lot of things, some that I'm not quite aware that I was really inspired by those things, but I think they all come into play.
All right.
Initially, when my husband died, I was already in ministry. I was already preaching.
I remember you were with my wife in prayer programs.
Yes.
Serious prayer programs.
Yeah, we did a lot of prayer programs. They would go with me everywhere. I was preaching all night programs.
Yes.
Evangelistic meetings. We would just go with my sisters Vivian and all.
Yes, I knew your name before I knew your face.
Oh. So when my husband died, then I found myself with, I couldn't sleep. Firstly, I developed insomnia.
Wow.
And I would sit until after 12 and I would start writing. Initially, it was writing. The book that I haven't published is the first book that I was writing.
Okay.
It's called Seasons.
So there's one that was written before this one.
Yes, there's a one. Right. There's a book that one was like an emotional dump ground.
Okay.
Whereby I would just write what I was feeling, the questions that I had. Why, Lord? Why? What is happening? I needed to understand. I needed answers.
All right.
So I remember one friend gave me a journal. Said, you know what? Instead of just sitting and crying at night, who do you call at night to say I'm feeling depressed?
Wow.
So I just started talking to that book.
Wow.
I started putting things, and then that book, I then tried to type it on my computer. I lost it at one time. After 50 pages.
Oh, no.
I don't know what I did wrong. Then I lost the whole book.
Oh, no.
I've not recovered it. But I started writing again the same book.
Yes.
But in the middle of it, that book was so, I have problems trying to... Processing it because I get so emotional. Even if I try to think about some of the things that I've put there, do I really want them to be out there? So I'm still processing what I want to go out into the public arena and what I think is, yes, I just, So I'm still dealing with editing that one before I take it to the editors. Even the girls they've just read
excerpts of it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I look forward to reading that.
Look out for that one. Look out for that one.
Yeah. So you find yourself alone. You're not sleeping. So you convert that crisis into an opportunity to bring out something that's worth it.
Yeah.
So out of your crisis, we get a book.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So tell us about, because I see you've selected specific topics here. But before I get tempted to just dig in there, I want you to talk to us a little bit more. And I know this might be a very difficult one for you because you find yourself as a single parent, a widow.
Yes.
In the church, in the Adventist faith. How has been that experience for you in the last 6 years? What are some of the messages? And I know you go out there to share this with other ladies out there. What is it that you want to perhaps highlight to say, this is what has become Maureen post the death of my husband? Because that took quite a bit of your adjustment.
Yeah.
So who is Maureen right now?
Right now.
Yes.
You know, I think I've gone through a lot of transformation. And I don't know what to say, but I didn't know me until the situation, until I lost my husband. Then I discovered that I could do I could survive.
Wow.
I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor.
Wow.
Because initially I got very depressed. I just wanted to die. I didn't want to have anything. I forgot that I had children. I remember there'd be days that I would sit and not even, you know, and I think it was during that period that I even also gained a lot of weight because I was just, I didn't do anything. I didn't want to do anything. And, but I thank God because then when I started writing, I found like it was a new lease of life. Okay. Yes. But the challenges are just, you know, they are just innumerable.
So emotionally you were just
in
drained.
that book. That book is also about the lessons, my lessons, my journey as a widow and some of the lessons that I've harvested. But it has not been an easy journey. All I can say is that I've seen his hand of mercy move. And dark as it has been, he has been with us through and through. And we have testimonies. Actually, I'm inspired to write a book just on testimonies, on the testimonies that we have experienced. Me and the girls have seen so many. We've celebrated so many things that the Lord has done. He has never left us.
It sounds to me that you have discovered God with the death of your husband. There's another view of God and yourself that you have gotten, which is quite humbling, I must say. That out of a crisis, out of a situation where you see yourself as a victim of what life has done to you, you actually come up with victory, which is quite amazing. But I want to drill a little bit on the personal experience. You are a widow in the church. Do you feel that the church is doing enough to look after widows in the church?
I don't think our church realizes how much widows suffer. Because I don't know whether it's a lack of education. I also didn't know until I was a widow. But our church, with the coming in of the ASAM, the Adventist, whatever, the department that deals with single people, I think that's a good start. But still, it's their involvement in family life issues. Single people are the education for the church. They need to be given more time to really tell what goes on in their world so that the church understands them. But the church at times has not taken that time to really say, how are you doing? We struggle at times. You struggle with kids. You just want to be involved. At times it's not that you want anything that is material. At times there are some widows who are really heartbeat. They need help, and they can't go out there and say, "Please look at me.
Yes. I
Yeah,
have
some
this.
you just need advice. What do I do with this? It's a men's world, and you all of a sudden you find yourself in that arena. You don't know how to dribble the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just struggle there. What do I do?
Exactly.
The car is giving me problems. Should I do an overhaul?
Wow.
And every time you want to ask, maybe some,
Yeah.
there are issues. There are always
Or maybe you ask
challenges.
this man and the wife thinks, what are you doing with my
I've not
issues?
experienced that personally, but
Yeah.
I've heard from the many presentations that I've done.
Those are some of the challenges.
The surveys that I've also done. Those are some of the biggest
Yeah,
challenges,
yeah.
whereby some are not even given church positions because of their status.
Yeah.
And it's not a choice. It's something
Yeah.
that you just find yourself. It's
Yes.
yeah,
So have you always considered yourself a writer?
not really.
So
Not
how did
really.
you get yourself to be an author? Because now you have a title I don't even have.
I was also surprised. But I'm grateful. What I've realized, I've been writing, but I didn't call myself an author.
Okay.
If I was asked to come and preach, I would write verbatim. I would even write Good Morning
Yes.
Church.
Yes.
I'd write everything. That even if you take my notebooks, you can take the sermon and preach it. And I
All right.
remember one of my daughters saying,
Yeah.
Mommy, why don't you just write? Why don't you put this into books or
Yeah.
CDs,
Yes.
record? And
Yeah.
then I said, why not? But this book now came about because I was doing a lot of bridal counseling.
All right.
And I would go there, be given 10 minutes, and yet I had 20 minutes
Yes.
material, worth of material. So it was the build-up of material that maybe I would be asked to come and share on communication
Yeah.
or come and share on money.
Yes.
And no one else would then invite me to speak on that.
All
Or some
right.
would just say, talk about marriage. And then what do I talk about marriage? So I ended up with a lot of notes, which I just compiled, expanded. Some are
Wow.
nuggets, some are wholesome. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's exhaustive.
Yeah,
Yes.
but given all the topics you could do, all the subject matters you speak on, including prayer, why did you choose a guide to women, a women's guide? Why women in particular?
Yes. I believe that women play a very pivotal role in the success of a marriage. And
All right.
understanding anything makes it doable. I've also seen so many young people call it quits because of lack of information. Some of the things they think, well, this is like the end of the world, are things that with help they can be worked on.
Okay.
And it breaks my heart to see how many marriages in the church that are breaking.
Yeah.
And how many of our young people walk blindly into a relationship that is not real. Or maybe you see the young ladies of today are so excited about the wedding day, the dress, and not the real things.
Yeah.
So I said, we need to, these girls do not need to stumble where we stumbled. If we didn't have information when we got married, thank God we made it. But they need information.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they have the time to stop and consider information, or they're just saying, we'll discover it along the way.
Yes, they'll stumble upon it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Maureen. For me, you're my guru.
Yes, but
And yes, and I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak to us about yourself and your experiences. And to our viewers out there, please do join us in the next episode of this talk with Maureen, with my Guru Vangu, my brother's wife. And we really want to talk about the key issues that she highlights in this book. You don't want to miss that episode. So God bless you. See you in the next episode.